Hey, welcome to the Dray Way. I'm glad you're here. You know what I did the other day? I asked AI to look at my Dray Way shows. I said, look at the Dray Way shows. Let me know what you think. Give me your opinion. I did this with AI. And you know what AI said? AI said while your passion and your emotions come across, and that's your strength. Your weakness is in your presentation and your lack of visuals. So apparently I have to show more charts and stuff. I have to show more pictures. Welcome to the Dray Way. I'm glad you're here. If it's your first time here, welcome. If it's not, glad you're here. But you know what we got to do? We got to get started. So let's go. Welcome to the Dray Way. I guess now I should just randomly show pictures so that I'm picture cool. I just thought it was interesting AI said that. But speaking of AI, and a lot of people don't like talking about AI because they really don't understand it. But let me talk about something that you will understand. Because I've been talking about it for 2 years, and I used to get messages, oh, you're scaring, they're building like crazy here in Texas. They're building like crazy here in Florida. They're building like crazy here in Phoenix. You don't know what you're talking about. Blah, real estate is fine. Real estate's not fine. Real estate is completely collapsing. And you're visually seeing it, and because it doesn't look like a mudslide, you can watch in the Alps when there's when there's a snow shelf just collapse and there's an avalanche. You can see it just go boof. And you can see a mudslide. You can see the whole thing just go boof. And you think that's what's going to happen with real estate, but it doesn't work that way. The crash in real estate is a progression. It's a thing it's a slow moving thing that just continues to bottom. And right now you've got so many people, even real estate agents, the ones that are left, and why we have real estate agents, I have no idea. Let me just sidetrack on that to begin with. Real estate agents are not needed for any reason whatsoever. You don't need a real estate agent. They don't serve a purpose. If you need somebody to help you step by step, first of all, we do that, but you can also ask AI, and AI can help you also. And because we do. We put AI in situations to help guide us, in certain things that need to be done, especially when it comes to pricing, what's going on in current marketplace, because everyone should be cutting their prices on there. If you want to sell, you should be cutting 10 to 15%. And if you want to sell, do not use a real estate agent. They still charge 6%. Doesn't matter 5 years ago, 10 years ago, doesn't matter what legislation. They want your money. They want 6%. And to think that if you have an $800,000 house that you have to pay 50 grand just to sell your house is ludicrous. It's cuckoo land. You can sell your house for $1,500. If you're paying more than $1,500, you're crazy and you need to call me. You need to call my staff. You need to talk to us and we'll show you exactly step by step how to do it for $1,500. We will train you on exactly what to do and how to do it for $1,500. Or you can pay a real estate agent that doesn't do anything and you can continue to give out 6% of your money. Yeah, that makes no sense. But yeah, especially with AI, you don't need a real estate agent for any reason whatsoever. They serve absolutely no purpose. I'm surprised they're not gone already, but there's still a few of them still around and they're still walking around going, now's a great time to buy. No, it's not. It's a horrible time to buy. Real estate is crashing and it's going to continue to crash for the next 4 to 7 years. 4 to 7 years. Real estate's going to continue downward across the country. Now, are there going to be some pockets up north? Yeah, because people are moving up from the south going, this sucks down here. So yeah, there's going to be some areas where there's going to be an influx of people and yeah, prices might go up a little. But all along the south, yeah, prices are completely collapsing. Arizona collapsing, all throughout Texas collapsing, Florida collapsing, Louisiana collapsing, Alabama collapsing, Georgia collapsing, and it's going to continue over the next 4, 5, 6 years. Do you know how I know? All you got to do is look at rents. Rents are falling everywhere. Yeah. And if you don't know that, it's because you haven't shopped. If you shop right now, you will quickly learn that there are houses, nice homes for rent that for thousands of dollars less than what you could buy it for. Yeah, you heard me. Thousands of dollars less. A house that you could buy for $4,500 a month payment, you can rent for $2,500. That's $2,000 a month you can save. Renting is where it's at right now. Buying a house, you want to buy a house right now with prices still where they're at, when you know over the next few years they're doing nothing but going down. Prices of houses aren't going up. Nobody wants to own a house right now. What for? You want to pay the HOA, you want to pay the taxes, you want to pay the insurance. You want to watch your house payment go from $3,000 to $3,800 like that in a year or two? Yeah, who wants to buy into that? And what for? Why does that make any sense to anybody? I got to put 20% down on a $400,000. I got to fork out 80 grand right now. And then I fork out the money. And then over the next few years, I watch prices go down. Real estate is not the play. Real estate is a really bad play right now. And if you notice, if you look on TikTok, on YouTube, if you look at any social media, a couple of years ago, you couldn't turn on social media without there being a real estate agent that doesn't do anything. And I don't care if you're a real estate agent. I don't care what you say. You don't do anything. You list a house for sale and that's it. And then sometimes you have to go there and open the door. Yeah, AI can do all that. Doesn't need you for a single thing. And AI can also verify who they are with their IDs. AI can do it all. You truly are not needed. Sorry, hate to break it to you, but yeah, you earning 6% or 3% or any percent of a home's value, those days are over, and they need to be over, because anyone spending more than $1,500 to sell a house is crazy talk. It's 2025. We're not paying $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 anymore to sell a house. Those days are over. Those days are done. And that's why hundreds of thousands of real estate agents are going back to their original jobs. Yeah, they're going back to IHOP and AutoZone and Walmart and all that other stuff, And for those of you that listened to a real estate agent a couple of years ago when they said, now's a great time to buy, because they're not financial advisors and have no idea what they're talking about, and you listen to them, you're now going to suffer. You're going to suffer the consequences of listening to a real estate agent who knows nothing about financial investing at all, knows nothing about it. They just know about how to turn a transaction on real estate. That's all they know. How to facilitate the transaction so that you pay as much money as possible. I don't think you know that, but that's literally the job of real estate agents, to make sure you pay as much as possible for that transaction. Because if you pay as much as possible, they make as much as possible. And that's their job, to make as much as possible. So in order to make as much as possible, they have to charge you as much as possible to buy or sell a house. Make sense? It should, because that's the truth. So yeah, real estate, no bueno. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Buy a house right now? Absolutely, positively not. Especially if it's in the South. Don't even think about it. Because what is real estate going to do over the next 4 to 7 years? Down, 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 down. And anyone telling you any different is lying to you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Welcome to the Dray Way. I'm glad you're here. Don't go anywhere. Part 2 coming up. Restaurants are in real trouble in this type of economy. And they're in trouble because restaurants depend a lot on, especially for dinner, they depend on people going on dates. Restaurants depend on dates. And guess who's not going on dates? Yeah, dinner dates? Yeah, those are rare now. Those aren't taking place like they used to, because now dinner dates, it isn't, I got to spend $80 to $100 on dinner. Now you go to a steakhouse and stuff, you're talking about $200-300. And how many guys want to fork over $200-300 on a first or second date? It's just not a thing anymore. It's just gotten way too expensive. That's why you're seeing restaurant after restaurant after restaurant closing. Yeah, they're closing all over the country because it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. The expense is just too high, and people are looking for a difference. And the difference is, and I can't tell you how many people now just DoorDash. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go to a restaurant. I don't want to, worry about getting in the car, paying for parking or getting parking and then going into the restaurant and then having to tip the guy and everything. I don't, there's a lot of people that don't want to do all that when they can just have DoorDash. They can have the food just sent right directly to the house. There, done. And now I'm staying in the house that I'm paying all that money for. I talked about that earlier. Nowadays people feel, why am I leaving my house that I pay so much money for? Back in the day, it used to be, hey, I'm renting this place for $600-700 a month. That used to be one thing. The days of $600-700 rent, that seems like a distant, that seems so in the distant. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, to hear rent under $2,000 is like you're getting a deal. My rent's only, $1,600, I'm getting a deal. My rent's only $1,800, wow, I'm getting a deal. Yeah. Isn't that crazy now that you're spending $2,000 a month for a 2-2 or a 3-2 or something like that, and you're paying $2,000 a month for it, and you think that's a deal? But the good news is, like I said in prior, all of that's changing. All of that. All of that is, I think we're seeing a huge dramatic shift in exactly how everything's going to work. And we're experiencing this shift because times are changing, and I hate to keep going back to it, but I don't think we realize yet just how much AI is going to change everyone's lives over the next couple of years. I don't think we have any grasp of it. So we just tend to ignore it. But yeah, things are going to get a lot different around here. And are we ready for it? I don't think so. I don't think we're ready for what's coming. So I think over the next few years, we're going to see more change, probably since when the internet exploded. Back in the late 90s, when the internet kind of took off. I think it's going to be kind of like that. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. I can't wait to see. But don't go anywhere. I have a final thought. So how are you doing on your workouts? If you haven't noticed in my face, I've lost 14 pounds, 15 pounds, 15 pounds now. And I still have 12 pounds to go. I'm still going down to 210. So I expect to be at 210 by the end of July. So expect this face to be even more narrow. Expect this face to trim down over the next, what do I got? 6 weeks? Yeah, probably 6 weeks. So how is your thing going? Because I've noticed that since I've changed my food, since I'm snacking on a lot of fruit now, and instead of snacking with cheese and stuff like that, I snack with apple slices and melon and watermelon. Though that's my snack now. And it's completely changed, not just my weight, but my energy level. My energy level is completely different. And I think I've been talking to you guys about walking. I'm still at 4.5 miles. I haven't upped it yet, because I'm seeing the results, and I'm not in a hurry. It's not like I have to make a weigh-in or something like that. If I'm a week late, I'm a week late. If I'm a day late, I'm a day late, But one thing for sure is everything is easier. I mean, even I come up the steps right over here, and I've noticed now I pop right up the steps. I go down the steps. Now that I'm lighter, now that I'm like, 15 pounds lighter, everything is easier. And that's what happens when you lose the weight. You get more nimble, and I'm sleeping better. My nutrition is right on point. My exercise is on point. I'm now in the gym doing benching again. I haven't benched in a long time, but now I've started benching again. So I'm feeling really good. And I attribute it all to walking. I've been talking to you guys about it for months now. And I'm telling you now, if you haven't started already, please start a walking program. Please do that for yourself. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If you want to feel better, if you want to look better, if you want to sleep better, everything, it all starts with just simply walking. The more you walk, the better you're going to feel. Forget about all these crazy exercise programs and all. You need to be doing this and you need to be doing. Just walk. That's it. Just walk. I started off with 15 minutes a day. That's where I started. And now I'm walking several hours a day. 2 hours, two to 2.5 hours a day. And as a matter of fact, I got my walk in this morning for about an hour. And then this evening, I'll get another hour and 15 minutes in. And it becomes a regular schedule, and it just becomes part of your day. And as soon as it becomes part of your day, I'm telling you now, the results are unbelievable. And I want you guys to feel as good as I do. I really do. And it's summertime, and why shouldn't we feel great? Why shouldn't we look great? That's my spiel for the day. Eat well, get your exercise, get out there and walk. At least try the walking. And let me know how you're doing. If you've started walking with me, let me know where you're at and how you're doing. And don't forget to join me tomorrow on another Dray Way. Yep. Thanks for joining me on this Dray Way. Hit the subscribe button for me. I'd really appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later. Tomorrow, right here on the Dray Way. Have a great day.